I don't travel all that often just because I don't enjoy it all that much. Um, I do travel with a single case of equipment, at least as much as I can cram in there. It's been upgraded over time, thanks to my wife seeing all the shortcomings of my travel habits. That's what a good partner does, is completes you in that sense. And Jermaine 24, or I should say J Thermaine, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that name or handle, from the chat room, has top 5 tips for traveling with electronics, and his first tip is specifically related to the case. You know, for a year or so, I was carrying around a bag that was branded Windows Vista, which was a lot of fun, but my Ponzi couldn't stand it, and she ended up getting me a Toomey. And I got to tell you, I probably wouldn't have bought it myself, but I'm glad that I have it because it's got a good set of pockets inside the Toomey case. It's very well constructed. There's a laptop area that's padded, which is nice. And I remember a couple of years ago, I used a carrying case that had zippers all over the place, and I actually lost some equipment because one of the zippers on the front was passed through a pocket, and things dropped out. I didn't realize it dropped out, and yeah, that was that made me sad. So yeah, do think about what you're carrying your equipment around in. I mean, if you've got good equipment, you need a good case to carry that equipment in. Not to mention, it kind of says something about you. I mean, if you're walking into a place and meeting people that you may not know, do you want to just throw down a ratty backpack? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you got nice equipment in there, I mean, sometimes the clothes make the man. Know what I'm saying? And I realize it's awfully ironic to hear this coming from someone who wears hoodies even in the middle of summer. Number 2, make sure you bring all the power cords for any electronic device that you happen to have with you. Even if you fully charged the devices before you left, bring the cords anyway. You never know when a device could die. It's true. And I've talked about this at times in the past. I like buying retractable cords and cables. Not only do I use them at my desktop, but I have another I guess copy, another unit, another cable cord type or whatever for my devices inside of my carrying case so that I can just take it and go without worrying about not remembering a cable. So that's something that could also help any type of frustration with organization, is just buy a duplicate cable. In terms of losing, battery power, it does depend on the type of device you have, but there are like battery packs that you can buy for a variety of portable devices that can help you recharge or just give you an extra boost when you need it in between charges. If you're traveling on a plane and let's say your PSP dies or your iPhone or iPod dies, you can just plug in an add-on and then use these like external batteries like AA or AAA batteries, and then charge the device at least long enough to make it through until the next time you're able to plug in directly to another source to bring more power to it. Number 3, if you're traveling with a family, get a good backpack for your electronic devices. It keeps it simple and easy to know where everything is. Have your travel partner give any cords or electronic devices to you the day before the trip so you can pack them the night before. It's easier to keep all the electronics in one place because it's harder to lose them. And I think the bottom line here is just coordinate. I'm in agreement on this. Since Ponzi and I typically travel together, sometimes she will take things away from me and not tell me, and I don't think she means to do that, but like when I was traveling to Iowa and happened to experience a relatively priceless moment, I tried to record it with my digital camera and it said memory full, and I looked at it. Ponzi had removed my SD card, and she didn't bother to replace it. She also didn't bother to tell me that she took it out. That really upset me a lot because I missed out on a moment that I'll never have back, other than what's in my head. So coordinate with your partner. Keep them in one place if you can. If you run into a situation where you both have the same types of devices, make sure you've got enough cords to go around, or at least to figure out a charging schedule. And in line with this, recharge at night. If you're not thinking ahead, then you're going to be stuck with half solution. You'll have the hardware, but no battery. And also, check your digital camera to make sure that your wife has returned the removable media that she may have taken from it before you leave the house. That's the little thing. Number 4, label any or all cords, what they are and who they belong to. Just get a roll of masking tape if you want, or a label maker, and just write a simple identification like what it is and who owns it, and attach it to the proper cord. It makes finding the proper cord inside a bag easier, and that's, I believe, absolutely true. One of the reasons why I don't carry a lot of devices is because I don't like carrying a lot of cords. But even so, I will specifically seek out devices that charge with common cable types, so like USB. Most of my portable devices will use that in one way, shape, or form. I can charge my iPhone by USB. That's what the retractable cable that I pulled out earlier is. There's USB on that end, and then the iPod connector on the other end. I'd rather use USB because I know I'm going to have this thing likely with me, and to use that as the charging station, just plug it in, and I know I'm off to the races. Number 5, make a list of everything that you're bringing with you so that when it comes time you can leave, you can just look over the list to make sure you have everything. It'll make repacking so much easier. It's a valid point, I'd say. And you could even, I don't know if I'd make the list electronically, because if your battery died, you wouldn't be able to check it. Just have like a little legal pad, write out what you have so that you know you've got everything. Keeping yourself organized is certainly going to help, whether it's labels so that you can find these cables and cords easier in a bag, or whether it's just tracking this stuff so that you know you go home with what you brought with you. It's good for just peace of mind when you're traveling with equipment that could be real expensive that you may have to replace if you lose. I ended up buying an inverter for a car when I was in Iowa, and I bought it knowing that I wasn't going to take it with me, but I was like, well, I'm coming back to Iowa again. I'm going to need it again, and I know my family will probably never use it, so I'll just buy it and just keep it in one of their cars, and when I come back to Iowa, then I know I've got one there. So I even keep electronic equipment in places where I don't live, knowing that I'm going back there one day and I won't have to buy it then, and other people can get some use out of it because I've got my own inverter here in the Seattle area. He's also got a couple other tips for anybody traveling, like obeying the law, and if you're going to be driving, instead of just talking directly on your phone, get a headset or talk by Bluetooth, and I think those are good general safety tips for people to keep in mind. If anybody has any other tips related to electronics or travel, the summer months are coming up, and certainly be interested in sharing your ideas with the rest of the community. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. And you're welcome to email me anytime. You're also welcome to swing by the chat room where we're typically talking tech 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.